Let's take a look a little bit at the structure of Congress. So we're going to look at committees, the people that are in charge of those committees, subcommittees, and just the leaders and minority leaders. So we're looking at kind of the functions that they play, the roles, and how that affects policy making. So looking at the House of Reps to start. The opening day, there's a clerk that calls the chamber to order, has a roll call of all those that recently have been elected as House of Representative members. Then they choose, the House of Representatives themselves, choose a Speaker of the House. The Speaker of the House is usually a long-standing member, always of the majority party, so whoever has the most members, Republicans or Democrats, they choose from that party, and it's usually someone that's been there a long time. So what they do, the Speaker takes an oath presented by the Dean of the House. They swear in then the rest of the House of Representative members. Democrats take their seats to the right of the center aisle, and then the Republicans take their seats to the left. Then they elect some different positions where they have a clerk, sergeant at arms, chief administrative officer, and a chaplain. All these individuals are non-members of the House, so individuals that were not elected, they're just administrative officials. They adopt the rules then that kind of govern their proceedings throughout the term. A lot of rules, a lot of people, so there's more rules. And then they put each other, different members, into 21 permanent committees, and they're voted on by the floor at the House. In the Senate, it's a little bit different, less people. It's a continuous body as well. Again, they are elected a third of them every 2 years. It's pretty routine, pretty short. They don't really have to reorganize everything. The newly elected members from that year are sworn in, and then they fill those committees. So looking at the leadership in the different houses, the House of Representatives has a Speaker of the House, like I said, and they are appointed by their peers. They work with the parliamentarian to determine bill assignments, so they're able to kind of dictate what's being read, what committee it goes to, and if they actually vote on it. That parliamentarian is, again, another administrative type of official, is appointed, looks at the rules, and sits next to the speaker and talks about the proceedings and follows all of the directions. So rules on motions as well for the Speaker of the House, decides who can talk and who cannot. They set the schedule, and they get to appoint members to the committees. The majority leader, this is the individual of the majority party in the House, sets the message for the party, serves on certain committees, and then schedules legislation, whether it's Republican or Democrat. And then the minority leader, same as the majority, but working for the party that has less people. Whips are individuals who count votes, put out fires, and forces party loyalty. They go around and they try to get support from their party members, and they try to see what people are thinking and talking about in order to support their cause. Then you have committee chair people, which are appointed. They lead that committee. And then there's a seniority rules and privileges, meaning if you are there for a longer time, you get more privileges. You are most likely to be in charge of different committees. Senate leadership, a little bit different. Technically, the president of the Senate is the vice president of the United States. They break ties in the Senate, but rarely is the vice president actually in the Senate. The president pro tempore then will conduct all the business. This individual is chosen by the Senate members. Then there's a majority leader, which is the spokesman for the majority party in the Senate, and then there's a minority leader, which is the same for the minority party. There's a majority whip. Again, they look for votes. They look at party loyalty, try to see what the opinions are of the people. And there's also a minority whip doing the same thing for the minority party. And then the conference chairman leads meetings of all party members in each chamber, organizes talking points, manages media presence. So again, looking at the president pro tempore, serves in the absence of the vice president, who's rarely there. elected by the Senate themselves, so the members of the Senate, always a member of the majority party. A couple of examples would be like Robert Byrd, who was the longest serving senator in history, and Strom Thurmond, who was a Republican but very influential within the Senate. Other leadership positions, there's caucuses that are created within Congress. There are groups that Congress people are allied together for different purposes, whether it's economic, social, geographic, or political. They can influence different votes. As leadership shifted to committee chair people, so a lot of committee chair people have a lot of power. In caucuses in the 70s, the caucuses become powerful because they can kind of rally together and say, you know what, I'm not going to vote. We're not going to vote on this unless this happens. For committee chair people, then, their assignments set by the party leaders. So the party leaders have a lot of power in putting people into certain committees and leadership roles. Seniority plays a big role in this, especially prestigious committees like the Foreign Affairs. Some, if you're looking at maybe the Rules Committee, are important. Maybe it's different. Veterans Affairs, not as important as like the Ways and Means, which deals with money. But there's an oversight committee as well. Maybe they don't get a lot of recognition, but they do a lot of work. There's a couple videos that you can find to look at the idea of seniority and committee leaders in Congress. Different types. There's 4 permanent types. Okay, so House members serve on 2 committees because there's more, a lot of people, so they serve on 2 committees. Senators serve on 2 major committees and then 1 minor. So again, there's a lot of people, so only 2 is enough for House, 3 for senators. The lead committee member of the majority party is selected by the party caucus, secret ballot, and then is called a chairman. The lead committee member of the minority party is selected by secret ballot and called a ranking member. The different types of committees: a standing committee is a permanent committee and subs based on a specific subject. They are always there. This committee is always conducted. Then there's select committees. Committees created for a limited time, maybe a specific purpose. Then there's joint committee. It's a House and Senate members serve together on a specific committee. Then there's conference committees. This conference committee is called together when they're trying to resolve different versions of a bill, one in the House, one in the Senate, so that they can get the same version ready to go, pass it, and send it to the president. So if you take a look at the committees for the House, it's kind of where all the work happens. If a bill is sent there, they look at it, they investigate it, they discuss it. Here's a list of the Senate committees. And then other roles that people have within Congress. There's a research service where individuals are doing research for the legislative members. It's free. It's conducted by Congress so that they can have facts and things behind legislation. Also, this is kind of an advantage to the incumbents, the individual that's in office that's running for election. They have this advantage as well. The budget office is nonpartisan. They look at costs and projections of different bills and what that will look like. The accountability office is kind of like a watchdog. It's a key term that we'll use, making sure tax dollars are being spent appropriately. They investigate different parts of Congress so they're not abusing their powers. Then the printing office provides printing services to the United States Congress and the Congress people. Stays out of the news, uncontroversial. This is something that also incumbents can take advantage of.